Look like I'm up there again. Sure. Probably should have like decided he was looking.
Good morning. This is Peggy from the Flower Nook. Good to see everybody today. I hope everybody's well. And welcome to another virtual interview from the Flower Nook. So as you know, the Flower Nook, as our name says, is a full-service floral shop. And about 4 or 5 years ago, we decided to expand our product line to artisan. It's been about the best thing we've ever done because we did not realize how much Wayne and I, love the arts, love the connection it makes to the community, and it's made us really a better florist because we've just looked at everything a little different than we used to in the process with it. So today we're going to be interviewing our North 40 alpaca, and we've got Mitch and Vickie on the line. And so I want them to say hello to you. So how are you guys doing? Are you with us today here?
Yes, definitely.
Hello.
All right.
Okay.
But so this is Mitch and Vickie Vanderman, and they own North 40 Alpaca. So we've known them. We've been with them for about 4 years. It's an honor to have them. And so today on the Zoom platform, they're going to take some time and share with us about their creative process and their journey to get here. So how did this name come about, North 40 Alpaca?
Yeah, okay, I'll start in on there. Basically, in there, what we did was went through and we got in the alpaca business in 2004. We were looking for highway frontage. And out here in north central western Kansas on that, space is, wide open spaces. So consequently in there, we had quite a few locations to look at as far as getting close to the highway. We felt that the closer that we got in there, the better off we could represent the alpaca to the general public. And in the North 40 in there, we went through and we found a piece of ground, and it had 40 acres originally to it in there. We took the north 30 acres of that 40-acre parcel in there. So that's basically how we come up with the North 40. It's the north part of the 40 acres of land.
And when did you start this venture?
We started in 2004, though we did a few years before that in there, did extensive research into what was basically at that time listed as an exotic animal. And since then they have classified it as livestock. And so, yeah, we had to do quite a little bit of research because basically the value of these critters was quite sizable to get into it. So it's like, okay, we don't want to screw up basically in getting into it.
Yeah, and I want to interject something that one of the many things that I have valued from working with Mitch and Vickie is their business mind, because you can tell that they've researched and they've done the behind the scenes. Sometimes, unfortunately, a lot of our artists come in and they have no clue. They don't know profit and loss. They don't have a business card. They have a plan. They just like to make. And I really do appreciate, and you've given me several wisdom spots along the way. So I know that you've done your homework, so to speak, with this venture.
We hope we have.
Yeah. So people are always saying to me, "Oh, you've got llama fur," and so I say, "No, it's alpaca." Is there a difference?
Yeah, there basically is in there. They're all part of the camel family, the llama and the alpaca. And when they were, as the story goes in there, when they were domesticated about 5,000 years ago down the Andes in there, they split off basically for purposes of what were they going to do with these critters in there. And over generations in there, the llama is basically about a 200 to 400 pound animal for packing and guarding. The llama was basically developed in there through the royalty system in South America. Only the rich or the well-off, the alpaca had ownership of them, and they went through and they developed these critters into like 110 to 180 pound animal with luxurious fleece to be made into clothing and different purposes and everything than their what we classify their first cousin, the llama. So there is a difference.
The alpaca is kind of known for fiber of the gods. That's what they called it years ago. But llama is sometimes with an alpaca as a guard animal, but an alpaca doesn't have any guarding. They really cannot protect themselves.
Really? And,
So.
and you said something when you were talking about the weight. So the ones that we're looking at here, are you approximating that's 180 pounds or?
Oh, they're like 150 to 180 in there. We've got some of the smaller ones in there, yeah, that would fit that 110 on up type of deal, but not too many and stuff in there. But a lot of them, yeah, but definitely the average one is less than 200 pounds. Let's put it that way.
Well, so we have alpaca, and then we have to talk about how you get the fiber. And so what are we looking at here in this picture on the right?
We're basically looking at shearing time. For us in there, it's a tail end of May, the 1st of June. And we want to take the fleece off, leaving about 1/4 inch of fleece on the animal so that when it gets hot and humid, like say the end of July, 1st of August, they have very little at that point on them to stress them. And it's kind of like a light jacket at that point in time. And with the temperatures we have here, yeah, through Kansas and stuff in there, yeah, we don't want too much fleece on them at that point in time.
Okay, and do you do your own
Shearing.
shearing?
Now, let me tell you a little bit about the shearing. We have a team we pull together, and we have usually about 15 or 20 that helps us, and we have a blowing team because the first thing we want to do is blow them off and get all the dirt off of their coats. And then we have a team that holders them up, and they bring them in, they lay them on the mat. We have a shearer that comes out of Minnesota with a head man, and the middle part of the alpaca around the belly is called the blanket. And then there's the seconds and the thirds according to the neck and the feet and the tail. So we pretty much separate all of the fiber out the day of the shearing. So they lay them out, they do the shearing. We call it our spa day because they also get shots, they get their toenails done, and they get their teeth ground if they have any long teeth. They only have one set of teeth on the bottom, but sometimes those teeth will grow forward and they have to use their Dremel and they shear off the teeth. So that's their day of spa. It takes about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes to do the whole process per animal.
About 5 to 6.
Yeah, but including the shots,
Oh,
about
yeah.
5 or 10 minutes. We have what we call some girls that come around, they do the bagging, those totes that you see out there in front, that's what they put the fleece in. Each of them has their own bag then with their name on it and the date, and we weigh their fleece each year so we know how much fleece we get off of each animal per year. And then when it's over, they just take off the little bungee cords and they jump up and they go to their pen and we take in the next one. So we have currently 37 on the ranch, and we can do our entire herd in half of a day.
My gosh.
So it goes pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's interesting. Now the product you're seeing here is the bird nest, product, and we have them at the store. I bought one of these. They are the best things. Everybody needs to have one because you hang them outside, and the birds come and they pick at it, and to take the little wool up to their to make a nesting material. And it's almost a fight, with birds flipping around there. And I do have to pre-warn that if it's where a squirrel can get a hold, squirrels also feel like that should be their wool in their household too. But I think it's a great item, and you've used the very, there's been no waste, and so that's been a very fun thing.
Yeah, and it's all 100% alpaca inside the bamboo netting as such.
So it's very ecological. So alpacas and fiber. Explain a little about that process here the lanolin and the difference in sheep and wool and alpaca.
Okay, well, alpacas do come in 22 natural colors. And so we have pretty much all the colors on our ranch except for the silver grays and the rose grays. Now, and Predominantly, we like to have the white because it is better for showing as well as dyeing the yarns. We do dye some of our light browns, but for the most part, white is our predominant color that we like to dye. But we try to keep all the other natural colors as far as having them on the ranch. You want to talk about the lanolin?
Yeah, okay. And basically, since they are in the camel family and their first cousin, the llama does have quite a little bit of lanolin to it in there. Lanolin being an abrasive type of chemical, and that's where you get the itch factor to it in there. Alpacas have right at a 2% lanolin on average count to their fleece, llama at about 20, and then the sheep's wool runs about 28%. All of them being basically a semi-hollow fiber that can wick and also insulate. But the main feature of the alpaca that sets it way apart from all the other animals and stuff in there is that low lanolin content. That's what they basically call fiber of the gods in South America.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very
Yeah.
comparable.
So I know my daughter's a knitter, and I know from her that alpaca wool is the ultimate premium wool, and especially if you get a baby alpaca, you know,
Mhm.
it's the most wonderful things. So how would I know if I can wear alpaca? Is there ever an allergic reaction, or how would I know that?
Basically, what we tell people in there is to put the fiber up right next to your neck, as far as on your skin. And if it does itch and everything in there, it may not be the cat's meow, might say, for you and everything in there. Though you can wear it say with a turtleneck or something like that in there. The garment in there, yeah, will have a low itch factor that you can wear. But that's how we normally tell people in there. Yeah, just put it up on the neck of your skin on your neck and everything. And if it itches at an uncomfortable level in there, yeah, there are other garments out there and everything on that. So.
Well, you know, we could be looking at alpaca photos all day long because they have such a personality. Do you find that with your animals that they're all kind of a little different? Or?
All of our animals are named and they're registered, and they all have their own personality. Everyone comes to the ranch. Sometimes we have a lot of white ones. They'll say, how do you tell them apart? I said, they're just like your children. According to the way they look at you, act towards you, whatever, you can always tell who they are. So yes, they all definitely have a personality, and they communicate with their ears and their tail, and they can do a humming sound, or they can sometimes make it like a high-pitched squeal sound. So yes, they're very personable.
They're so fun looking. Well, what we want to talk about a little now is product, because that's what the North 40 Alpaca store has as wonderful product, and that's what the Flower Nook also have. So we're going to look at some of the product that we can offer. And here we have some sweaters shown here, and I want to ask you about these photos. Is there a style that we're looking at?
Yeah, the very first one here on the, what I'm looking at is on the left. Those are what we call our ruanas. We probably have around 10 or 15 different styles of that. Some of them are reversible. They're have some very detailed little designs in them. You can wear them as a shawl, you can wear them around, you can wrap them up. Some people keep them in their car for a blanket. And then the one on the right, that is our ambrosia sweater. A little shorter, the girl squatted down there, but it has some tails on the end that you can tie up in the front, or you can let it hang to the side. And we have a photographer that we go to their place, and they do photos for us about once a year for our new styles. And the girls that you're seeing here, just a plug, I better say, are girls that we know from our area. They have either worked for us or been associated with our ranch.
Wow, local talent, I love it.
Yes, so we try to make sure that people that work for us also get to model some of our clothes, as well as they get to take their turn in naming the animals.
Oh, that's special.
Yes.
So I'm curious with all the patterns, because I want the people to realize there are so many different styles of alpaca. This one's got a really gorgeous border. It was so beautiful that I put the front and the back so people could kind of see the process. Now, is this, so tell me.
This is the garden sweater. It's got some real detailed increments flowers, and that would go right with the Flower Nook around the bottom, around the cuffs, and around the neck. It's been one of the good sellers for us.
Right, that's
You
right.
can dress it up or you can dress it down. She's got it on there with a pair of jeans, but looks very sharp with a pair of nice slacks or skirt as well.
Yeah. You're getting another style popped up here.
Okay, and that's the Miranda. That's the back of the Miranda, and then the front, it has somewhat of the same style. It's an open sweater, just goes right below the thigh there. And then the other one on the right, that's called the Adele. And again, it has the longer tails, but it's got a nice lapel. Comes in a couple different colors. There's the like blue melange and the silver melange.
These both are very dressy. I've had a lot of women like to wear them to the office and stuff because they really have a nice.
Now the Adele is actually kind of a lightweight sweater. So even though it's light, it will still keep you warm or to help wick away the heat if you get too warm.
Okay. Gonna flip up another design here. And this one's got a gorgeous border on it. It's very professional look, I believe.
Yeah, that's called the feathered sweater. Only has one closure at the top. And it's, as you can see, is a little shorter style, but yes, very sharp looking. And then the one on the right there, that's a couple designs of the Tokyo. And around the cuffs have some very detailed artwork around them as well. Okay. And
So,
this is I'm sorry, do you want to go ahead?
No, I said I put down a trendy knee length pattern because I love this length. I think it's very forgiving, you know, for my.
Yeah, this is like a 3/4 length. It's called the Vienna. Again, it has one closure at the top. And then the one on the right is the vest. She's got a turtleneck underneath that, but that's our longer looking vest. We have several different 3/4 length vests, and some of them are even reversible. This one is not, but some of the ones we have are reversible.
Yeah. So do you have a feel for what age group, popularity-wise, the alpaca products, sweaters appeal to?
Well, as you can see, most of our models are high school or college girls. However, when we're at shows or even in the store, we've sold to ladies that have been in their mid to late 90s. Especially on church day, I have a picture from our neighbor that she sent me a picture and said, Alpaca's looking pretty prominent in church this morning. And she sent me a video and had 4 ladies that had on her alpaca sweater in church. So, and they were of a little older age, so pretty much anywhere from, you know, young to the elderly.
Yeah. What I'm not seeing here is anything for the gentleman.
Oh, we do have that. I didn't send you any of those pictures, I guess, but we do have sweaters for men as well as we have vests for men. And we've sold quite a few of those. And hunting vests as well as coats.
So what is the size range of the sweaters?
Well, a lot of our sweaters are what we call OS, and that's one size fits most. We also have some that are from 1 to 3X. So some are sized from small, medium, large, extra large, and then some are sized 1 through 3 on the extra large.
And do you know, Vickie, people always saying to me, are they true sizes? Do they fit larger or smaller than, you know?
I think they might fit a little smaller. They're kind of more for the European market is where they, you know, send a lot of the sweaters from through. This here's the Kate. It comes in a silver and a sand, and it's got the two-tone. Been very popular with all ages. Again, I've sold some of this into the ladies in their 60s. Looks good with jeans, looks good with slacks, leggings, boots. And that's a full length that goes below the knee.
And that's the way I see it worn with pair of jeans. You know, it's kind of that is the new look. It's mixing the two together. So how does one care for the garment, alpaca?
Anyone that buys a garment from either the Flower Nook or from our store would be given a garment card. Most of our garments, we say you want to hand wash them with a shampoo with conditioner and then lay it flat to dry. There's some of our coats that I would suggest is only 100% dry cleanable. And then some, I tell them, if you don't get it next to your body, you just kind of need it to be refreshing, just to put it in the bathroom while you shower, and those fibers will kind of come back, kind of shrink back up. So, but you will be given the card at the time of purchase.
Okay. Well, we're switching from sweaters now to, I believe, shawls and wraps, one of my
Shawls
favorites.
and wraps. We have quite a few shawls and wraps. You can see the one up on the right corner there. It has some quite detailed embroidery on it as well. And some of the girls will put it on as like around their shoulders, and some of them will wrap it around, maybe tie it up. They've got a lot of different styles you can do with the shawls and the wraps.
I put a close-up of the fabric, the fiber, because you can't really see them up close, and all these things when you, I mean, it just really is, it's almost an art to look at it. I love the fabric on it.
Yes. And then this is what we call the triangle rosette shawl. It's just got a little fringe around it, and it comes in a multitude of different colors. There's just a few colors shown here. We also have it in black and gray and silver. But yeah, we've sold a lot of those for just to wrap around in a light evening when you're out.
Mm-hmm. They're very intense colors. That's what I like about this particular, this shawl that has that embroidery kind of look with the scallops, very intense, and people gravitate toward that, you know, in the store.
Yes, you're right. Evening glam is right.
So we're switching from sweaters, and we're talking about something else the North 40 Alpaca has, which is blankets.
Yes, and some of the finest finished garments that we've seen, everything coming out of, they're manufactured in Peru, and of the alpaca blend, basically those blankets in there, they're 5 foot by 6 foot in there, and you're running with a combination of 50% alpaca, 35 wool, and 15 of polyester. But the one, what we've noticed in there is the wool part has to be the finest merino going in there, because they are just soft as all get out. But they are a blend and everything, and very, very comfortable, and will resist a lot of cold and stuff in there.
I'm surprised to hear you say there's some wool in there, because I have a blanket at the house, very lightweight. I like it. It's very warm, and we used to have a wool blanket, and those things are heavy to pull up and down. Yes. And this is just, I mean, it's just surprising how it's like a tissue paper. You know, it's just really.
Yeah, the blend and everything, when they come up with it, we feel, the very finest coming out of Peru. It's it is an art, what they've created as such in there. And basically in there, we recommend, dry clean only on something like that, about once a year type of situation there. So, and we do have the next on the screen is our rugs and everything in there, which are made from basically the seconds and thirds of our wool and everything in there. Will dye and come up with different colors and everything, and a lot of applications in the house for those.
And the care on the rugs, you can vacuum them, you can shake them, and actually if they get really dirty, you hang them out and take your garden hose them down and let them hang to dry, because they are all made 100% out of the alpaca. So they're very, very durable. We've had one in our store since we opened in 2015, and it looks as good as it did the day we laid it down. They're just very durable.
And did you tell us the size of the rugs?
They kind of vary in size. We call them a small, medium, and large. I don't know the exact measurements.
Probably about a 2 by 3 for the large, a 2 by, about a 1.5 foot by 3 for the medium-sized ones. That's about the size there. Mm-hmm.
Well, we're switching from rugs and blankets to socks.
Okay. And in sock line stuff in there. This is probably the most,
it's probably our best seller.
But the most popular of all the alpaca products and everything in there is the sock line. Now, the socks in there, when they first started importing them from Peru, they had 100% alpaca in them in there, and they found out real fast in there. Somebody would put it in the dryer under a high heat, and they wound up with a little small product from when they originally started. So all of our socks in there carry a blend to them in there between, say, 45 to 70% alpaca, with the balance being basically polyester and spandex to them in there. So basically they can be washed and go through the dryer in there. We do recommend in there a regular wash in there, and then lay them flat to dry, since it gets much natural fiber to them in there. Yeah, the longevity, if you put them in the dryer in there, will tend to break it down over a long period of time. So we do recommend, yeah, if you can lay them flat to dry, you get a lot more usage out of them. Yeah, so.
And what we're looking at, and this is more some of the dress socks, but you do also have some wonderful sports socks.
We have sports socks, we have athletic socks, we have also the big heavy socks, like an outdoor sock for hunting and fishing, or people that work outside. We always say the big outdoor socks will go like below 22 degrees to keep your feet warm. And again, even though they're lightweight, they will be a warm sock on ones you're looking at on the dress sock.
Yeah, we've got a couple.
And the bottom ones there have 3% copper for aches, pains, arthritis, circulation, diabetes. So we have had a lot of return customers for the sock products overall.
And what's the size range of
Most of the socks, well, they either come small, medium, large, extra large, or we'll have a combination where they'll run a small, medium, which is a 5 to 9 for women, and a 9 and above is large, extra large. So we have charts, and they're even actually on each one of the band of the socks, according to men's sizes, according to your shoe, and women's sizes. However, all of our socks are what we call unisex socks. It's just according to your shoe size.
Okay. Well, from socks, we're going to look at casual and dress scarves. And so are these felt, or are they knit? Yeah. What are we looking at?
Well, the ones on the left here, these are what we call our felted scarves, and they come again in an array of colors. They're lightweight, and then the middle ones are a knit, and a lot of those are right off of our alpacas. We have yarns, and actually Mitch does some of the looming of those. On cold winter days, he does looming of the scarves. And then the one on the total right, that is a real thin, it's called a Costco scarf. It's a variety color, and it is purchased. We also have gauntlets and a hat that matches it. So yeah, they're more of a dress scarf there.
They're very, it's really a very dressy look. That with your regular coat changes the whole outfit.
Changes the whole look, you're right.
It's a very nice add-on. Well, we can't talk about winter, even though it's 97 degrees today, without talking about your gloves and mittens.
Okay, and on the left there, those are actually the left ones there. Those are what we call the glittens, and it's got a flap over it, so it can become a glove or a mitten. And the other ones are a fingerless glove. The glittens we've sold male or female. Fingerless usually have only been sold mostly to the women. Not shown here, but we also have a full trenza glove. And we have full mittens, and we've got some unisex big mittens that we carry, as well as some other patterns of the fingerless.
Yeah, and I didn't get the photo put up here, but there are just, for people that don't like this pattern, there are just some plain colored.
Yeah.
So, yes, and we have a line.
If you prefer.
Yes, we do have a line, outdoor hunting glove and everything in there that is sized for either men or women.
And it's actually reversible.
Okay. Yeah, and it's a reversible style stuff there.
Well, this next slide is one of my favorite products of the alpaca, and it's the fluffy critters.
Yes, it's the fluffy critters.
And those are mainly coming off of the first shearing of the baby alpaca, and really soft, luxurious type of fiber.
It feels like a cloud or a cotton when you touch it. And the ones over here on the left, it shows kind of some of the variety animals we have. We have bears and a tiny teddy all the way to the extra large. And we have horses, and we have two or three different sizes of alpacas. We have squirrels and elephants and lions.
Elephants and squirrels.
Yeah. The one in the middle is what we call our little vicuna. It's about a 2.5, 3 inches. It comes in a standing or what we call cushioning. That's the laying down where they tuck their legs underneath them and lay down. So we have quite a variety of different animals.
I always tell people you gotta touch these because they are just a fluff ball for. Well, one of the things that we've been doing together as partnerships is that we have been doing an open holiday house where you bring alpacas, set up a fence back in the garage and bring alpacas for photo ops. And it's been very popular. People ask me, will they come again? So it's surprising to me that, of course, people bring their kids, but we've had just as many grown-ups that come back and want to touch and feel and look at the alpacas. So we just love that part. And here, is this young girl here one of your helpers that you?
Yes, that's one of our little helpers out of Jewel, Kansas, actually. She's been working with us for about 3 or 4 years. She helps us on the ranch as well as she helps us with shows. And she's what I call my alpaca whisperer. She can usually get them to do whatever we want them to do.
Well, she was such a great marketer because she'd walk in front of the store, and of course people would drive by and then they'd click around and see what wound up being. The great thing about having the alpaca in the store is because people can touch that wool and then they can relate to the fabric. You've got kind of a fun motto that you guys say. What is it?
Come feel it, wear it. That's our motto for our clothing, garments, and stuff made out of the alpaca. Because you have to kind of feel it to appreciate it. So then you want to wear it. You definitely want to after you feel it. So come feel it, wear it. And that's one thing about our business here at the North 40 where we're at today. So we've got the animals right outside the door. So if you come to the ranch, you do get to view the animals and then you get to shop the store. So I always say it's animal to product.
Yeah. I love that with it. So
it does help sell the products. You're right, Peggy, us coming down and being with you in the store.
So this is Chester, and I'm going to let you explain Chester to our virtual community.
Yeah, Chester is actually a llama. Okay.
Don't let that out.
Yeah, well, let's be quite honest in there. Yeah, it's a llama in there. That's the size of a llama as such in there. But we've got him at a trade show about 4 years ago and thought, okay, let's at least go through and have something to show the general public as far as the general fiber and everything in there, even though, the llama being a lot coarser, a lot higher lanolin content, still gives the idea that, okay, this fiber is actually coming from a critter as such.
And he's big enough that if you weigh less than 100, you can get up on him and have your picture taken.
Yeah.
He's kind of been used for our marketing tool. We had him actually at the Flower Nook for a few weeks down there in your front window to help sell the product.
Yeah.
So he's kind of our silent helper.
Now this is obviously in your store, and I'm looking back here and I see it looks like an outdoor jacket vest, which I've never seen before. Kind of a wool. Is
that's more the men's section there behind Chester. We have sweaters, we've got vests over there, and we've got coats on that wall.
Oh, that's
and you can see the scarves, and then down there on the bottom you can see hats and stuff.
Looks like it'd be some really good gift line right through there section for.
Yes.
Well, here it looks like the family's out for a walk. So I'm curious about, do you leash train these animals?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Okay.
And is that an easy process?
The thing is, these animals we've experienced in their intelligence-wise are a little kind of a cut above, easily trained and everything in there. They are stubborn, as they can be and stuff in there. But once you put a leash and a halter on them and stuff in there, go through just a little bit of training in there, they will never forget what they're supposed to do. They, like I say, intelligence-wise, far superior animal and everything in there, and easily worked with and everything in there.
We have found though that if you have a new one, like the little one there in front, if you put the halter on him and take him out with somebody that already knows how to walk on the leash, he likes to have a kind of a show and tell. Show me what to do, and then I know how to do it. So yes, we're out doing some halter and lead and walking around here. And this is a photography day.
So
out in
what
the country.
age do you try to start that?
Try to do them when we like to do them when they're about 3 or 4 months old. We don't always get it done.
Okay.
Right now we've got Jada working with our 1-year-olds teaching them, but you know, we did that one Saturday, and by Saturday afternoon she had them walking on the leads without any problems. So
It's something I never forget.
yeah, I always say it's like riding a bike. Once you learn to ride a bike, you always know how. That's the way these guys are.
So how long do alpacas live? Have you had
On
to?
average in there, they say 15 to 25 years.
Oh wow!
We have had in the past in there, we had a 20-year-old female that gave birth and everything in there. She unfortunately passed about 4 months later and everything in there, but still producing at 20 years of age. So their longevity.
They're pretty hardy.
Yeah, they're a pretty hardy animal in there, and a little bit less than say a horse and stuff in there as far as longevity, but right up there, yeah, pretty good length of time and stuff on that.
Right now we've got our oldest on the ranch is 20. We have Taco Bell that's 20.
And
So
now,
I'm glad we have the store picture again, because a couple of things. One, we see the little baby stuffed animals we talked about, the little, 2 and 3
right there on the counter.
just so fun. And one thing we forgot to bring, and I see him here, is the finger puppets. The finger puppets.
oh yeah,
And they are $2 a piece, and no matter who sees them, grandmas come in and grab them. They're just the greatest things. I don't know how many different types there are, because they're always producing something new.
There's always new ones.
Yeah, the imagination.
Really are great.
Yeah.
And are those children's clothes also?
We have some few children's sweaters. The current producer that we've been working with may or may not be doing those in the future. So I'm hoping we can get some back in. I tried to do a special order this year for the fall because we have limited ones left. But yes, those are children's sweaters, size 2 to size 6. 2 to 6.
Okay.
So been a good little seller for us. So I'm hoping to get some more of those in, but we do have limited supply of those.
So tell me the store hours, how could people find you?
Well, we're actually closed to the public at this time. We usually are only open mid-October to around mid-March, but we're always available by appointment. We have tours and groups that come. All you have to do is call Mitch's cell number, 785-735-4619, to schedule your private showing, private tour. And anytime the store is open, you can always take a tour of the alpacas. In the fall, we open mid-October, and we're open every Saturday from 10 to 6, and then Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 1 to 5.
And at the Flower Nook in there, it would be your regular
Your
hours.
regular
and everything.
hours.
Yeah, we are so happy to have them. And
Say she's got more hours available than we do. So I always say you're open year round, we're not. So
we finally have gotten, after several years, people realize we have it, so they come in, they go right to the section. We've never moved it. They come in, they go right to the section.
that's what I find too, routine.
Which is great.
We do some craft shows and everything in there, mainly in the fall and stuff in there. And that's one thing we do request in there is to go through and have the same booth, same location. People are kind of routine and everything in there. Once they catch on to, what the product actually is and everything in there and what it can do for you, we like to have a little continuity to what we do.
Well, I sure have enjoyed and have learned an awful lot, and I've enjoyed listening to you guys talk about your creative process, and I'm happy to see both of you on the screen. So if you want to know more about North 40 Alpaca, you can go to their building, their company, whatever, like Mitch just said, you make an appointment or go during October. We're happy to have you at the Flower Nook. If there's something you need and want and don't know for sure, we can FaceTime you, we can pull it out. We're happy to make virtual connection with all of our customers, because we want you to see that. And, both the Flower Nook and Mitch is really great about, so if you get it home and you don't like it, bring it back. That's not the problem with it.
Yes.
We've never had anybody say it was terrible. I used to worry about, okay, they bought an alpaca sweater and that sweater's going to last probably longer than they will. So I'll never have that customer again. But
Well,
They might need a different style.
yeah, we do find a lot of them in there. Yeah, we want a little variety and everything in there. So
yeah, so once they have one, they'll come back and they'll say, well, you know, I'm going to get over, or they're going to get a sock, or they're going to get, you know, so it just kind of feeds itself with that process.
yeah.
So we thank you so very much for coming on and sharing your life with us. And everybody else, please get to the Flower Nook or get to the North 40 Alpaca and check out the product. Good seeing you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much,
it.
Sarah. Thank you.